Memento Stories is a tool that helps people remember the most relevant and interesting things in their lives or life chapters. We do not only have stories that capture entire life books, but you can do um, uh, growing up books for children as well, travel books, wedding books, even memorial books for people that just passed away, as a group with many people, for example, to help, yeah, securing the legacy of a deceased one, right? So, and this is how a book actually looks. You can place text, images, audios, videos, and record them. As you can see here, this woman is just recording her voice in the the mobile phone. I will present you that later as well on how to work with the Memento app on your iPhone or Android phone, and how to record maybe stories on the go. Or if you don't want to type, you can choose and use that. We have a lot of people here actually who already have finished a book, and yes, these are all successful people, and you can be one of those as well. So it's not that hard, and I want to show it to you today. This is how a Memento book starts. You just click on the buy now or give away button, choose if you want to do it yourself or if you want to give it away, and then just go through the process. And the person who will receive that gets a beautiful e-card, for example, or printed card, and they can start a life journey through their um, with a Memento book. Yeah, so that is how a Memento always starts. But now let's see, if you have your account created, normally what you will see first is your questions screen, and that is somehow how it can look. So the questions screen is the first step, and what I will do shortly now is to lead you through the app just to show you a few more exciting things that we have developed here. For example, the questions screen now has a new facelift. The cards are no longer images but colors, and you see the questions there, right? So each question represent a story. For example, the childhood story. What was your favorite subject in primary school? That could be one of those questions that we will ask people. And yeah, you are always free to manage those questions in a way that you can delete one if you don't want to answer one, or you just click on one and you will be able to type, record, or add images to one of those stories when the answer comes to your mind. Um, the first thing, yeah, here I see a question already from Harry Ann. I'm having trouble uploading pictures. That is something I will cover here when we are in the media library. Just a short step here. The writing screen is the screen where everything will happen regarding your texts. For example, you can see the chapters of your book here in the left sidebar, and that is actually representing your table of contents. So in those folders, the folders have names, and it's a chapter actually, or a category. And if you open them, you already saw there are questions or sections in it, and clicking on one of those will open the story on the right side, and then you can begin to write your story here. And as I said, you have a plus icon, and you can add images, audios, even videos here, page breaks that will reflect on your book. So here I could start and write a story, and I can preview it at any time clicking here. For example, if I just open one question that I've written here, you can see there is a long text paragraph, and we will step into this a bit later on. But just that you have seen it shortly, you can click to preview, and on the preview page, you see how it will look on a 6 by 9 inches paper size. That is how the Memento Stories books come on a 6 by 9 inch. You can scroll through it and see how it will look when printed. And one of the news in Memento 5.4 is actually the templates. The templates is something you can see here on the left side. That means before you had to go through these individual steps and change headlines, alignment, body texts, and all those settings here. And we now group that into beautiful templates, and we start with 3 of them. So the first Memento signature template is a template that you can see here. It comes with a divider here, for example. The category is large at the top of the page. But if you want to switch to a serious and professional layout, just click that one and you will see you have a big header here. So the title of the question here is bigger and the font size is smaller. And this reflects an 11-point text. So normally readable for everyone who reads books in that size. And we have a playful and funny template here now that is used by many of our mothers and fathers who are writing their books about the children that they have. Yeah, so this is the new templates. And after you switch to one of those, you can always go to the individual settings and make changes. So if you say, this text is a bit too small for my eyes, you can always go in and change from 11 points to 13 points, apply settings, and your texts will be larger. So that is the first thing we introduced, and we will bring more templates later so you can just switch between them and see how your inner pages actually will look after you have written down all the stories. Good. But now let's go to the media library because it's the next part here that we have. And just look at those images and maybe answer the question from Harrianne. She says she's having trouble uploading pictures. So I'm showing to you now how I would do it when I'm in the media library, but there is another way of uploading them when you're writing your story. So when you are in the media library, you just hit the blue or green button, and then you select the origin of your image. So for example, your device, Dropbox or Google Photos. Of course, you can record one as well. I'm clicking on my device and I'm choosing a coffee image here. I'm opening it and I click upload file. Just takes a second. Okay. And now I have the image of the coffee here. And I can use that now in my story. For example, I'm going to the right screen at the left side, go to the last answer I've given, and now I say I want to add an image below. So you just hit the image button here, or you can as well click the plus button and then say image. And from here, you have the same options that you just saw, but additionally, you can click on image gallery and select the newly uploaded image that we just uploaded here. So, and then you have the image right below your text, and you can add a caption here as well. And now I'm coming to Carol's question. She's having a lot of trouble resizing pictures. Yeah, so resizing pictures actually is pretty straightforward. If you just take the handlers here and you resize an image from top to bottom, you are resizing the frame around the image actually. So you're not resizing the image itself, but now you can zoom out like that, okay? And zoom in again and grab the image and move it inside of the frame so it fits what you actually want to show, like that. Of course, you can make it wider as well, like that. Okay, so that is basically how it works. If you have trouble or anything is not working for you like I showed it, I would actually recommend writing into the support chat, but zooming in or out, that in zooming should work all the time. Zooming out is something that can only work if the picture is big enough to zoom out. For example, I can't zoom out here anymore because it's actually from the left side to the right side already the maximum that I can cover. Okay, so this is how you would place an image into the text. And of course, you can add two images next to each other as well. Okay, Adil, yes, that is the advice I can give now. If you have problems with resizing, we have to look it up on your screen, maybe in the support, if you can contact us there. Okay, so now if I'm going back to the chapters here, you see we have a lot of questions as well as in the questions screen. But sometimes you need other or more questions. So you can click on Discover and Add. Select a chapter that you want to add more questions from, for example, leisure. And then it will show you new questions that are not yet part of your book. So just read through them. And if you see one that you would like to answer, just check them. And as of now, we have 51 questions. As soon as I click on the green button here, you will see it added up to 53 questions. So now those three questions are part of my book, and I can answer them as well. So that is something you can reach from the Discover and Add screen. You can, of course, also add own headlines or questions when you click on the green plus button. Select a chapter you want to add it to, for example, love stories, and then write your chapter name. How did you meet your spouse? Spouse with an O, like that. Okay. And then I click send question, and it will be added to my queue. And what will happen now? Those questions will come via email once a week as you have set it up, and you can answer it one by one, or you can, of course, answer them all in a row. Okay, now sometimes it makes sense to not write your book alone, but to have contributors. Contributors are people who can either help you writing the book, like assist you, or they can send you own relevant and personal questions to your book. So you are creating a real, yeah, family legacy if you let your granddaughters or grandsons or children be part of your book. To add someone, just click the contributors button and then click on add new contributor and decide what rights they should have. So they can either have reading permissions and they can just read along what you're writing. You can have a writing permissions for them, and they will be able to ask questions or upload images, or they can just use the guest contribution feature. And with those guest contribution, they don't need to create a Meminto account, and that is actually helpful for like wedding books. If you are on a wedding and you want to present someone with a very nice book of the groom and the bride, where everyone from the wedding can participate, like a guest book, you would actually choose the guest contributor rights and then copy this link and send it to them, or print a QR code and place it on the wedding tables so people can scan it during the wedding and can answer questions about the couple. that is having their wedding celebration. That is how a common book would work, and the contributors. All the contributors will be listed up here, and you can see what questions they have answered and see more about them. Okay, this is about contributors. Now, let me just skip the layout and print for this moment and go to my books, because I saw that some of our authors did not know how many settings we have there, and that you can yeah, change things. So, for example, one of the most important things regarding your book is your first name and the last name. So place it here. You can select the gender, the birth date. That will, or had a reflection when you started the book, because we found the best questions regarding your life story with those. Then the book details. One of the most asked questions is, how much time do I have still left for my book? So, as you know, with Memento, you have 2 years of finishing your book. With our contributors, mostly they just give you 1 year, and you have to pay for a second year the same price. So we are half the price actually than the competitors around us. But you have 2 years, and you can even extend this time by clicking that button here, and you will be able to extend by another 6 months for around 25.90. So this is the US dollar price. It is pretty simple if you need more than 2 years, but mostly all our authors are finished after 1.5 years or even faster. One other setting here that I want to point out is the backup and downloads. So you can always download all the stories that you have written with this option, and you will receive a Word document. That is especially helpful if you want to make sure that nothing gets lost, or if Memento would be down, you have your stories still. Just download the backup file, and you can even download all the images that are uploaded to your media library by the download media files and content button here. And the last thing from the settings that is important is your notifications. Notifications are sent once a week. A question from Sunday to Saturday. You can select the day that you like most, or you say, no, I don't need any questions at all, I just want to do it manually. So then you would choose that option, and you can decide if you want to have a story reminder, confirmation after answering a question. For me, it's all switched off, but you can switch it on whenever you like. So these are the most important things from the settings. Now, before we come to the Memento AI, let's look at the credits screen, because credits um, are something important and like a fuel for the Memento AI. And I'm just seeing a question here. Joe is asking, can a book be larger than 200 pages? Yes, we can print up to 480 pages. So you have plenty of space. And I see that we have Carol in the chat here. She's actually writing her second book already. The first one had around 485 pages. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that was a pretty nice book. And yes, so they can be thicker than that. Okay, so credits. Credits is the fuel of Memento AI, and as you can see, I have 2,444 credits right now. And if I click on that, you can see what can be done with the Memento credits. For example, we have the convert speech to text option. So every time I record something, I can transform it into written text, well written text actually, without the filler words and everything. And you can optimize it further on. You can adjust the text length, you can translate it, everything with just one click. I'll show that to you later. And if you need more credits, you can always buy more credits here. For me, it shows the euro prices. For you, in the US, Australia, Canada, and everywhere else, it should show the dollar prices. But it's actually not that expensive, way less than if you would hire a lecturer or someone who should check your book. So that is how the credits work. And before I go to the writing of the stories, let me focus your eyes on the features tab up here. I'm not sure if you have checked this out yet, but if you received a Memento email with a question, you have two buttons actually. One says write your answer, and the other says record your answer. If you tip or tap the record your answer, you will get to the senior friendly interface. What is the senior friendly interface? I might think we should have found a better name for that, but let me just show it. So you will land on a pretty nice and simple interface that is just perfect for people who are not familiar or techie savvy. So this is what you will see. And here on that screen, you have big buttons that you can just tap. For example, answer my questions is one of those. So I tap that one. So it's actually perfectly for tablets and phones, right? You click on the answer my questions tab, and then you will see the question here, and you can just answer it by talking. For example, the question is, explain the first time you believed you were in love. And now I can go here and tap on the answer button and just record it. I don't have to write anything, right? We record your story and we preserve your story as well in a recorded voice. So everyone who will get or read your book will be able um, to hear what you have said. Good. So this is the senior friendly interface. A question that I see here: does Memento use writer's text to train AI? No, we don't. We don't give your text somewhere else. So the Memento AI is not using your text to train AI in any way. Okay, so this is the senior friendly interface, and you have seen another thing here, like Google Chrome extension. What is a Google Chrome extension? That is actually a great question here. The Google Chrome extension gives you access to your book from anywhere in your browser. For example, if you install that and it's free and you use the Google Chrome browser, you can go to any website that you want, and you will see here in the upper right of your browser the Memento StoryKeeper Chrome extension. Look at that. If I click it, I can it opens a small screen, and I can select my book from here. In that case, my life book, and it asks me now the question: explain the first time you believe you were in love. So the same one we just saw on the senior friendly interface. So that means you don't even have to log in into Memento if you use the Chrome extension. You will see all your questions simply here from the Chrome bar. You can select a question you want to answer and just start recording. And once you started recording, then you will be able to edit that text. Let's do that. The question is, when and where were you born? What was going on in the world? Let's see. I was born in a small town, and it was not in Germany, actually. I came from far away, and the uh, Germany was divided into two parts, East and the West. Okay, so I stopped the recording now, and now I'm clicking save here, and we remember the question, right? When and where were you born? I save it now, and now I'm closing all of those screens and I go back to my Meminto account, go to write, and now you see there is a 2 here. So there is this question where I just answered or recorded a text, and there it is. So this 15 seconds audio recording was done outside of Meminto with the Chrome extension, and now I can convert it to text. So here I now click convert to text, and I say it is English. It will take 2 credits from my 2000. I say yes, let's go. When I'm clicking that, it takes a few seconds and it will change it. Now it says, I was born in a small town and it was not Germany. Actually, I came from far away. And Germany was divided into 2 parts, East and the West. Okay, so now I have my first content part. I can use now the AI to optimize, or let's make it a bit longer. So there are 2 ways of using the AI now. The way that we had before, if you clicked on a paragraph, we had a Memento AI bar popping out below the text always. So that is now not here anymore because it was somehow disturbing a bit as well. It was in the way. So if you want to change the tone or the writing style or check your spelling and grammar here, just click the 6 dots on the left side, then choose Memento AI Rewriter and select from one of those options like make longer. So you can just type like a few words, and if you do the make longer, um, if you choose that, it will make it longer. So let's see what it will come up. So on the left side, you see your original text, right? And on the right side, you see what the AI has made. I was born in a small town and it was not Germany. Actually, I came from far away, from a different country altogether. Growing up, I often heard about the division of Germany into 2 parts, East and West, which made the political situation even more complex, blah, blah, blah. So it came up with a longer version of my text, and I can highlight the changes here. And that's just an example. You don't have to use that. I already hear people saying, oh, I don't want that. I want to keep my own text. Yes, I know that. So this is why I'm still using that optimized text, but just to show you something. So I'm applying that now. And now I have a longer text here. Okay. So to use now the spell check and the grammar, I'm just placing some typos here. And now I'm showing you how to use AI for a long text. Okay, so let's say we have longer text here. I'm actually selecting my text that I have written before because that one is very fitting. So here, this text I have just prepared before the webinar. It reads, how many children were in your class? Which ones do you remember? And if I show you the text, you will see that it's not very well written, right? So our class had, I think, 28 or maybe 30 kids. It changed a bit over the years because some moved away and new ones came. So that is actually how you would speak, maybe, but not write, because writing needs a bit more of an eloquent way or more professional way. So how would you change that? You could look at the bottom of the screen here where it counts the characters, the words, and here you see the Memento AI bar. And if I click that now, here on that part, if I click that now, we will see that the new Memento full text AI bar pops out. And what I want to do now is I want to improve my writing style. So let me, first of all, remove that image by clicking the 6 dots and then delete so it's not in our way. So this is the original text here. And now I've chosen the button below here to show or hide the bar. And I click on improve writing now. Because it's so much text, we've decided to not just let it run and take your credits, but we show you exactly how many credits it will use. And the best thing here is if you use the Meminto full text AI from the bottom of the screen and not for the single paragraph, it is 30% cheaper than for a single paragraph. So you will save credits if you do the spell check or improve writing at the end of your writing process. Now let's see what it will do. I just click the start button here. Sometimes you could see an error here, but it should work um, mostly. So now it says the original text is on the left, the modified text is on the right. You can again highlight changes and you see already how much it changed. It reads now, our class consisted of approximately 28 or 30 students, though the number fluctuated over the years as some moved away. So I won't read all of that. I'm just showing you how it already changed the first sentence to have um, a bit more of a beautiful writing style, right? You can apply it now and it will be exchanged right away. Okay, now I'm placing a few paragraphs here just to make the text more readable, like that. And one more here. And now let's take a look at the preview. How would that look now? Okay, so that is what we see now. But now I've lost my image. What do I do now? So either I replace it by just re-adding it, or I could jump to an earlier version of my text if I don't like what I did or if I deleted something. Yeah, it is gone, and I really need it. I'm just looking at the chat here, and Carol has an important question. Can you choose a specific portion of text for AI edit? Yes, you can. You just select the part that you want to edit, like that. Okay, so now I didn't choose the entire paragraph, just a sentence here. And you click here the magic stick Memento AI button, and you say, for example, make shorter, shorten. And now it has shortened that text from 3 lines into 2, while the meaning stayed the same. I apply it and it will be exchanged here, right? Okay. So now I continue where I just left, and that was with the revisions. So one of the new things in Memento 5.4 is the text versions. You can jump back in time to older revisions. How do I do that? If you look on the left side, you have the settings here. So you have to choose one of the texts you want to um, go back in time. You go to settings and you see the revisions here, the revisions tab. So here you can now see I have some revisions here from like, yeah, 20 minutes ago when I started and then when I worked through it. So here I can now review how the text was before. Okay, it had no image here. Then we had one with an image. Okay, and we can see another one. And here you can see how many words we had. So here we had 240, 246. So it really changed, right? And now I want to go back to that text. I just click the restore button here, and it restored my old text with the image. So now you don't have to be afraid anymore losing any text. The revisions has you covered. So just go to settings, revisions, and you will be able to see the older versions of your texts. Okay. Want to give room shortly for questions or anything that you might have to ask? Um, I see Heather Joy with a question here. I have the Meminto app on my phone. I have never updated it. Do I need to, or is it self-updating? And Jerlene replied, yeah. So if your phone has automatic updates enabled, it should actually work. Um, I will show the Meminto app on the phone shortly as well. Just let's go now to one of the most important things, for example, or what you will need to do in the end once your book is written and all the stories are placed, the images are placed. You will go to layout and print, and yeah, print the book actually. You give the book a title. Yours can be whatever you want, and the author name here. You can decide if you want to print a dedication, for example, for my beautiful family, like that, right? And then I go save and next. And here again, you will see, or maybe for the first time as well, you will see the preview of your entire book. In my case, it's 28 pages. You can go through it. For example, when you see the table of contents here, on the left side, you have small thumbnails to scroll through your book even faster, or you can see all the stories that you have already answered. And a question from Carol: can title be in different fonts? Yes, of course. First of all, you have the templates here on the right side as well. We have now 3 of them. More will surely follow. But you can go to the individual style here and now go to your title page. So you can open and close those settings here. We have the title page, table of contents can be set up. The text, chapter, page breaks can be influenced. The QR code style, if you have audios and videos placed in the book. But let's look to the title page. And if you don't like Lato Black, you go for example, with a handwritten style and make it bigger and just hit save. And it will now regenerate the book. And there you go. You have a different family, a font family for the title. And in that way, you can do it for the entire text. You can change the dedication text, the body text, the title text. You can change the chapters and so on. So just go through those settings, see what you can do, try a bit. And if you break anything, you just go back to templates, head up one of those 3, and you will be always good, because those are like classics and they will always work. Okay, so how does one earn credits? We have another question from Luis. So one of the things how you earn credits is by attending this webinar, because at the end of this webinar, or maybe tomorrow, we will give you 250 credits for free. If you need more, you can always go to credits and purchase more credits from that screen. The prices are being shown there, as I said earlier, but that is how you would do that. And it's actually a good question, Luis. We might have a way for like a kind of gamification where you can really earn credits. That would be a great optimization. One of the most important things for your book is actually the cover, right? They say never judge a book by its cover, but I say, yeah, the cover makes a book interesting or less interesting. That is why we have like more than 40 covers, not just one like the competitors in our space, where you can just exchange an image and then do nothing more, and where you're not able to change the back or the spine. With Memento, you are covered actually. So you just choose one of them. For example, if you have many images, you could go with that one. Um, and if you are not wanting to place an image on the front of the cover, you could go with one of those. But for my use case now, I have selected this called Susan and Henry. And I will select that and go save and next. And in the next step, you have the cover designer. And in the cover designer, you are able to change almost everything. You can change the wording here of the book. You can exchange the front image, the back text, and everything else. Once you're done here, you go save and next, and now magic will happen because we're um, collecting all the pages, making the cover, uh, resizing the spine size, or yeah, recalculating the width, so you don't have to worry about anything. And then your uh, book is ready to be viewed at the screen. And this is the beautiful preview that we have. It really feels like a real book here. And you can go through your pages. And if you missed last month's webinar, we have a new 3D view here as well. So where you just click and then you can see how your book will look and maybe feel as well when you're holding it in your hands, right? So that is what we've implemented for just to have a better preview of what you will receive when it's once it's printed. Okay, so when you're done, you go to the checkout. You confirm that you have checked your book. It's final. It's printable, and from here you can add more copies to your order and place your shipping address, so we know where to ship it. And then, if there is something more to pay, you can do the payment here as well. Okay, so that is Memento 5.4. And now just let me show what we've developed on the um, app side of Memento. But shortly, I will look through the questions here in the chat. I have Frank. Frank, you have been quite sick. I'm sorry to hear that. And now you went back to Memento. Your login didn't work. Everything was gone. Yeah, that is mostly because you used an email address that was not the original one that you used before. That means we have to see which email address you used, because actually we don't delete it. So it shouldn't be gone, and you will receive warnings if your time is over, your 2 years. So just let us know in the support chat afterwards your email address, and we'll check if you have used another address for your account. Um, okay, so final digital version with audio and video. Yes, so there will be a version with digital audio and video. For example, when we go to the writing section here, we go to last, and we had this story where I recorded an audio, right? So just let me show you how it will look when it's printed. So when it's printed, you will see there will be a QR code and it says scan to listen. So now if you just take your mobile phone and you scan that QR code, you will actually hear what I recorded. And that is so lovely when grandparents make recordings here for their family, and they can listen to their stories and not just read them. So that will be in the final version as well. Okay, now who of you has used Memento on a smartphone already? Let me know in the chat. Did you use the Memento app already in this on a smartphone? I will take the time to open it here. So there we go. So this is my smartphone here. Okay. And I have an iPhone. You maybe have an Android. I'm not sure about that, but it should work either way. So you open the Memento app on your smartphone, and you should see the logo, the books, and then you have it on my screen. You now see a German interface, but I go to profile here at the right bottom, and I go to language. And now we have already 5 languages in it: English, German, Portuguese, and Portuguese for Brazil, and Espanol, so for the Spanish speakers. But for now, I'm switching to English. And what I will do as well is I go to my books at the top here, and I switch to the book that I've just shown here in the webinar, live book. There we go. Okay. So now here on the first screen where it says write, okay, you see the tabs up there where it says questions, content, and so on. Okay. So the questions work exactly like they did in the web. You just tap on it and you will be able to answer the questions here on the small screen, either by typing or, and that is what I would recommend, you tap the small recording button here, just like that. Okay. So I tap it and here it says, what is your full name? Do you know why you were called that? I tap record audio, and now I have 10 minutes of time to just record it. My full name is just Albert. I don't have a second name, and I was called that because my grandfather had that name, and my father wanted that name to be preserved. Okay, so that is how it is right now. You can listen to that story as well, or you just tap the 3 dots on the right top here and you say transcribe. It will ask you what language was the recording in, and here I'm coming back to the question from Adil. Can someone narrate in a mix of languages like English and Urdu within the same narration? That is an interesting question. I haven't tried that yet. Not because I can't speak Urdu, because, but I just didn't try that. But I assume it should be one language because now here it asks you for the input language. And my was American English, but I can switch between a lot of them. So we even have Korean, Russian, Slovak, Swedish, Urdu. Yeah, we have Urdu as well. But I'm going with American English now here. Confirm. And it says it will take 1.525 credits here. And confirm it now. And now it will transcribe what I just said. I don't have anything here. And there you go. My full name is just Albert. I don't have a second name. And I was called that because my and so on. See, so this is how you could do the book on your mobile phone with just recording your voice. Okay, so this is it. And here as well, you can see the layout of your book. Just tap it there. It will generate a preview with title and a text so you know what you can do here. I'm discarding the changes now. And one news about the new version 5 of Memento iOS app is that if you go to the book settings in the bottom here and you scroll right in the first row, you now have a new cover editor here. So you can style your book completely within the app. You don't have to leave the app. And that is a huge improvement because people always ask us, why do I have to leave the app and go to the web to style my cover? Yes, because styling a cover on a small screen is actually a challenge, but we still can do it. You just click on it, you select one of those 6 covers. Here we don't have those 40, but just 6. And I choose the My Life cover. And then you can see here is the front cover. And in the bottom, you see the front, spine, and back. So when I click there or tap there, it will move there. And you can simply now um, drag the text here by just holding on it. And you drag the text to the bottom and the top. And in this way, you can simply change everything on the book. Even if you don't have a computer, it will work on your phone and on a tablet, right? You can change the font family here as well. So pretty much everything you can do in the web, you can do here now as well. You even have this nice 3D layout preview here, so you can see exactly how your book will look in the end. Okay,